What's up, everybody? This is Tyler Hangs, the world's strongest blacksmith, and today I'm going to give a small tour of my home gym. Over here is where I store my kettlebells, my dumbbells, my formers, some of the blocks for pulling off, so I can pull from either 9 or 14 inches using those blocks. So I will set up some stuff so where I can set up more fluid heights. I've got two 40-pound dumbbells, two 10-pound dumbbells. I got four kettlebells from 10 to 25 pounds. I've got a 15-pound plate. I don't use that very much because it's only a single. I need to get a second one, but I just haven't found a company that makes 15-pound plates besides that one. I've got four 35-pound cat plates here. These are widers, and they say 44 pounds, but they're more like 46. Every single plate I have taken a scale with me when I bought them, and I make sure that every single plate is a tiny bit more than what their slated weight is. Cap is really bad for being plus or minus 4 pounds with their stuff. Wider, they're pretty good, and most of their stuff is like plus or minus a quarter. A quarter from my experience. So I got two of those. Those are about, as I said, 45 pounds, even though they say 40, they're 20, say 20 kg, they're 45. I've got two cat 45s underneath them. I've got a stack of 10s. I try to keep them there. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. I think that's 12 there. I've got 16 10s, and then I got a 250-pound sandbag. It is overloaded to like 260 pounds. I got another 250-pound sandbag. I'm probably going to load that one to about the same weight. Underload it. I haven't decided yet. Then I got three different throwing bags. This one's real light. It's for my nephew. It's like 15 pounds. And then I got two for me. This one's a 35-pound bag, and then underneath it I keep a 45-pound bag. And then I got another one I'm going to fill up. I'm probably going to load this one to 55. Gluteus Imperium, these are amazing throwing bags. I loaded one up to like 65 pounds and dropped it from the balcony, which is up above me. It's from like 18 feet, and it held up no problem. That one eventually did bust, but that was no fault of my own. There was a rock, and it landed on it, and it wasn't here. I had transferred the gym from the shed I used to work at to the shed there, and it landed on a rock, and it busted. So now over here it's pretty good. So it's pretty good. These are my two farmer's handles. These have an 1 5/8 handle on them. It's completely smooth. I let it rust. I didn't like this polished texture. The rust actually gives it a good texture to it. These are 150 pounds a piece. I filled these up with lead, the weight posts, and I kind of to make them even out the weight a little bit. This is my deadlift platform. It's 2 pieces of 1/2-inch plywood, and then I got rubber matting on the top of it. I've got 4 band hooks here. They're in a good location. I eventually plan to modify this so where I can have reversed bands as well as bands and do a little more work with it. Squats, turn it completely into it so I can have a little more room down here. And then I got 2 crash pads. These are pretty good. I've dropped a decent amount of weight on them, and they've held up. They've done their job. And then I got 2. These are 2 pieces of wood. One's 2 inches, one's 1 inch. I use those for negative deficit deadlifts. I'm got a lot of those in my upcoming training program. They're pretty good. Right behind me, this is a homemade hip thrust machine. I built this several months ago. It is very good for what it's for. I do plan to modify it a little bit more to fit my needs a little better. I've loaded up to 4 plates on each side, 4 45-pound plates, and it's held up magnificent. I am gonna add a second piece of plywood to the bottom just to thicken that base up a little more, and then take the foot plate and move it out a few more inches because it is kind of awkward with the way the legs are tucked back when you got your feet on it when you're doing hip thrusts. But otherwise, it's perfectly fine. Fine, because when you go up, your legs are completely straight. It's just a little more awkward with heavier weight. So I don't know whether I'll keep it or not. It depends on how this next training block, because I got a lot of this in my next training block, just trying to build up some hip strength on to help my lockout on deadlift real well. And then behind me, right here, this is a back extension machine. Since I've gotten this, it's really helped out with recovery and my back work, and really my deadlift lockout. It's really well as that. I have noticed since I've been using it that my deadlift lockout is more fluid, but as well my off the floor power, I get a little more off the floor power, even though that's not the purpose of this machine. It's probably just the way I'm using it. And then over here, I got my gym bag. I do try to keep everything in my gym bag instead of scattered about. I spent like an hour cleaning this gym up before this video just to make the little things better for the video. Okay, this is a homemade bench. I got this stuff resting on, and then I got it set up this way because I was doing box squats. This is the rope I use for my sled pull, my sled drag. I got a bunch of different barbell collars. I don't use these a lot. I don't really like these that much. This is my scale. It's not the best scale, but it works pretty well. It goes down to the tenths. I use a lot. This is a half rack I bought at Academy. It's pretty good. The only problem I have with this rack is if you don't bolt it to the floor, plan to keep a minimum of about 200 pounds on the back. Because if let's say you're squatting and you 225 pounds, anything more than that, and you hit these, it's going to start tipping forward with you. So even a single 45 pound plate on each side of it will prevent that. I used to use 35 pound plates a lot because I could get those I got a whole bunch of those in a deal. So I was doing deadlifts, squats, bench press, everything with 35s before I got all these 45 pound plates. These are 45 pound bumpers, and then I got another 45 pound plate. This is a Bubba strength axle. It's hollow, but they made up for it by adding a square tube and everything. It actually does weigh 45 pounds on it. I got my bands here. I got 3 different strengths of bands. So when people look at my programs, when I say gray, blue, red on my personal programs, that's what I mean. Gray band, blue band, red bands. And I got my knee wraps here. These are slingshot, Mark Bell slingshot bands. These are 3 meters long. I really like these. I've only used them a couple times, but they're very good. Back here, I've got my homemade yoke. It's like 120 pounds empty. It's made of 2-inch pipe. It's a magnificent yoke. It's heavier than it looks. It's set up for my height. I do want to get a height adjustable yoke in the future, just make things a little easier for me. And then I got a Vever single post sled. I like this sled, and at the same time I don't. It's good for pulling with arm over arm and dragging, but pushing, it is a nightmare. It doesn't like to be pushed. In my opinion, to make this sled a perfect pushing sled for sled push, it needs to be about another 1.5 foot longer, just to keep and have the posts have the pushing posts at the same spot, just like adding about 1.5 feet to the middle of it, and it'll be a perfect pushing sled. Otherwise, it's perfect for me. This is the pulling harness here for it. for it. I just got it thrown up over the way. One thing I do have to say is that should probably be a bit bigger. But it's good for me. Anybody bigger than me, that would be real small on them. Over here, I've got my hex bar. This is a 50-pound hex bar. It's pretty good. I used to use it a lot for frame carry, but I had an incident out here where I smacked the sleeves into these posts, and so I don't use it that much for it anymore. And then I got my 10-inch Titan log. I am going to get a 12-inch one of these days, or I might just wrap the middle of this with a boatload of duct tape, and make it a 12-inch log. I filled the ends up with aluminum, and it's about 55 pounds of aluminum in the ends, and so it makes the log 115. It picks it 30. No, it's more about 45 pounds of aluminum. And then I've got my home built curb. This is what I attach to for sled pulls, like harness truck pull and arm over arm pulls. I've got a stone block here. This is about 180 to 190 pounds, depending on if it's wet. Sometimes I'll leave it out there and it'll absorb a boatload of moisture, and so it'll go up about 10 pounds in weight. So I keep it in here dry, and actually this is actually a lot stronger dry like this. This is about 180 pounds right now. Just all that moisture's out of it. It's extremely dry. And then I got one Atlas stone. I plan to make a bunch more. I got the molds, just never got around to it. This is a 185 pound Atlas stone. I added lead wheel weights in there to make it that much. I messed up on this stone, so it's not really the best. It's got that, and it's got that hole right there, and on the bottom it's really messed up. I had two more, but they rolled down the hill. And then I got tires. These are about 70 pounds a piece. These two tires. They got these wheel adapters. They need to be redone. They're wood. I want to make them out of steel next. Get them made out of steel. But otherwise, they're perfect. They work perfectly for what I wanted them to. I just busted them. I've got this here is for seal rows, and then I got my bar, and then I got my standard barbell here. Here, it's just a regular power bar. It's a cheap one that came from Academy. I need to get like a good deadlift bar or something. And then I got a cap strength bitch. I'm going to put this on for sale. And then I just got a towel here I used to wipe everything down with and wipe myself off when I get real sweaty. And then this is an 80-pound lead core. It's for Atlas stones. I had to bust it out of an Atlas stone just because the Atlas stone decided it was going to crack real bad. I dropped it and it just busted apart. So I plan to either make a second one and make a sear dumbbell. It's about 85 pounds of solid lead. I've made a bunch of these. If anyone wants one, contact me. I'll make one for you. And I do believe that's everything in my gym. Thank you. Bye.